Is cold calling a waste of time? Steve Hansen here with the Janitorial Store, where we help cleaning business owners scale their businesses with systems, tools, and resources. Well, you know, depending on who you talk to, some will tell you that, yeah, cold calling is just a waste of time. Why are you even doing it? But you know, if you do a little planning, you'll be just fine. And you know, when you think about it, there's actually two forms of cold calling. You have on the phone, where you're getting on the phone, making some phone calls, cold calling companies, and then you have walk-in, in-person cold calling. So now, when you're doing the phone calls, this here is, you know, you take a little bit of time and you build a list. I always say you build your 300 list. Then what you do is you want to research the businesses that you've got on your list, and that list can be it can be broken up. Let's say you have 3 different sectors. It could be 100 for professional office, it could be 100 for manufacturing, it could be 100 for educational. So either way, you're going to have a list of 300, but you have to do the research once you get the list of those companies that you want to do business with. When you do that research, you're looking, you know, you want to check out their website, you want to see who the president is, or contact people, because you want to be able to, when you make that phone call, is to be able to have some engaging questions, you know, for those people. And that's the only way you can find out, is by doing some research. So, you know, when you do that, like I said, you're looking for some useful information. Sometimes what you'll come across is where they've got a current award, or they just did an acquisition, or something. You know, so look around on the website, and you know, some companies will have on their website in the news, so just check that out, because that's a great place to get that kind of information. Now, one thing that will help you too is that create a script, you know, for when you're doing your phone cold calling. You know, and the thing is that you create your script and then, you know, memorize it, because you don't want it to sound as if you're reading a script. You just want to have it sound as if you're having a conversation with the person. So always remember that. So, you know, review the script, you know, memorize it, and make it so it's conversational, not so such as you're reading off a piece of paper. That will, you know, either be success or failure. So just take the time to do that. Something else you have to remember is always be kind to the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper is the person who's answering the phone, or the receptionist that when you walk into a building. Be kind to them. They can either open the door or close the door on you. So always treat them with respect, call them by their name, and just be kind to the gatekeeper. Something else that you always should be doing whenever you're making your phone call, cold calling, is, you know, to make sure you're bringing value. You know, don't start the call by selling. You know, and that's not the whole reason why we're cold calling anyway. We're cold calling to introduce our business, you know, to bring some value and to start a relationship. So that's what it's all about. So when we do that, like I say, bring some value first, then later on you can sell. When you're on the phone, your ideal situation is that you want to try to set an appointment. You want to get to a face-to-face meeting with that person. Let it be the president of the company, or the manager, or who's ever handling the cleaning contract. And in some cases, that's what you may have to ask. If you can't get a contact person, you may have to ask the gatekeeper, you know, can I speak to the person that handles your cleaning contracts, or the cleaning of your facility? Yeah, and you know, then be prepared, because they may ask you, you know, other questions, and or they may tell you, well, we do that in-house, or we got somebody already. So be ready for those types of reactions, and have something ready to respond for that. And you'll find plenty of those things in the Janitorial Store or my house cleaning biz in the sales section. We have a lot of great questions on how to overcome objections in there, so that's a great place to go get that. But like I say, for the phone call, cold calling, what we're doing is we're trying to set an appointment so we can get a meeting with that contact person. Then hopefully we can do a walkthrough of the facility, which means that we can give them a proposal. If we're able to give them a proposal, then hopefully we can close the deal. And that's the whole process of which we want to do if we're making phone calls. Now on the flip side of that, if you talk about doing walk-in cold calls, You know, I think that in some cases, yes, that can be a big waste of time, but I also believe that that's one of the best ways for you to hone your sales skills. So if if you're kind of on the fence that you're not sure if you're very good at sales or not, walk-in cold calling is probably one of the best ways for you to really hone your skills. So in that respect, I say go for it. But the thing is, there's a time and a place to do it. Because if all we're doing is jumping in our car and driving to an area of town, getting out of our car and walking the streets, well, that is a waste of time. We spend a lot of time that's not very productive. So what I always say is that, okay, first of all, maybe you're doing your on phone cold calling, and you've set some appointments. So when you go to that appointment, after you've completed that meeting and you left, now do some walk-in cold calling, because you'll see businesses that you may want to do business with. So that's the time to do your walk-in your cold calling in person. Now the same thing applies, and something else you got to think about, because it is COVID-19. You really don't. A lot of companies aren't open. A lot of companies won't allow in-person conversations. So in that respect, during a time like this, then obviously we're doing more phone calls and Zooms and things like that. But in a world where we're not dealing with that, and businesses are open and we're freely be able to walk into to businesses, then what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have an elevator speech of some sort, something that will last 30 to 60 seconds. Now that elevator speech should tell people who you are, who you're with, and what you do. Plain and simple, that's it. So create one, or I say create multiple elevator speeches, at least 2 or 3, because then you can use them in different situations. So that's the first thing you have to do, create your elevator speech. The other thing we got to do is we've got to have some flyers and business cards. And as I said before on phone cold calling, we don't go out and have 3,000 flyers made. We only have 200 or 300 made at a time, and so we can test our markets and make sure that we're getting leads from that type of marketing material. Now your business card, what I'm saying is that all you're going to present is a flyer and a business card. And in some cases, maybe just a business card. But I think the best ammunition is to have is a really good flyer and a business card to present to somebody when you're doing an in-person walk-in cold call. So keep that in mind. Make sure you have the proper materials with you. Now, when you do walk in, again, you're gonna meet the gatekeeper. That's the receptionist. So remember to always be kind. Treat those people with respect. If you can, always ask them what their name is, and then you can talk to them. Call them by their name. And what you're going to do is you're going to ask them if you can speak to the manager or the president, the CEO of the company. I always believe that you always start at the top, and that's I've had a lot of success with that. So always remember that. But that's what you're going to do is you're going to ask a very good question, and you're going to ask that question in multiple ways where you're asking, who can I speak to that handles the cleaning contract. Now again, just like on the phone, you may have people say, well, we already got people that clean, and that's already taken care of. We do it in-house. Well, just be ready for those objections and have some kind of response for that. But remember to always be kind to that gatekeeper, because again, they can close the door, open the door for you. And hopefully, if you do get a meeting with the manager or the president, well, then again, just make it short, because this was this wasn't an appointment or anything. You did a walk-in cold call. So make this short with some attention-grabbing statements or solutions, and that's what you really want to do. So they think that well, nobody's ever asked me that, or nobody's ever mentioned that to me. You want to get them to think. But the final thing you want to do when you're doing a walk-in cold call is always ask for the business. Always ask for the business. You'd be amazed how many times you'll be able to close sales by doing that. So those are the two differences in the cold calling. So is cold calling a waste of time? It depends upon which one you're doing. Like I say, on phone cold calling, you can generate a lot of good leads. In person, walk-in cold calling, there's a proper time to do that, so it isn't a waste of time. because our time is money. So we have to make sure that we're using the best use of our time. And if any of you have been watching these videos, you've probably seen some of the videos I did on time management. So you know how important that is. You know, if you want to, you can go to the Janitorial Store in my house cleaning biz, and on the scroll down and you'll see the content library. You'll see that that banner, and just go ahead and click on Access Content. And then what you'll do is click on the Sales and Marketing button, and you're going to find a wealth of information on sales and marketing. And we got videos, webinars, and other things. And this here, you know, you don't have to be a member to get access to this. So just go there, and you're going to find a wealth of information on that. So, well, hopefully you got some value from this video. And if you did, you know, go ahead and feel free to make a comment and or ask a question. You know, I may do a show on that topic, which would be, you know, fantastic. So, you know, if you have not already, make sure that you subscribe and make sure you turn on those bell notifications to get notifications for new videos to help you grow your successful cleaning business. So, thanks for checking in today, and let's keep it clean out there.